Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of this little book right here, these other little mini books, where you can get that My Funny as Hell merchandise down in that description. So go down, fiddle about, check it all out. And as always, I'm always going to start every episode with being very thankful for everybody here, for just all the conversations, all the kindness, to a lot of amazing people. Looking forward to going on interviews with Stacy, having her on mine, with Mel. I'm so excited. And Sean, thank you for that. Just what an amazing community and family we have here. Completely support that. Thank you so much, you guys. As always, couldn't be here without you. And speaking of without you, without really, this channel wouldn't be here without rock stars. And, some rock stars, they pass on and they let things go. Their family let things go. And we're doing a follow-up today on a family that let everything go. We're going to follow up on the Jeff Beck auction, you guys. So there's pictures involved. And some of these prices, like I said, most of the stuff is going to go for way more than what was ever planned. And sure enough, but we'll get to that. But right now we're going to get to this really awesome, delicious Lev, one of my favorite easy drinking beers. Just so delicious, you guys. Easy peasy, light and crisp, not heavy, not dark, more of an amber. I love Lev. They have such a clean, crisp taste. So everybody, grab your lines, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and auction downs. Cheers, big ears. All right, so we are going to start with, let me get here. We are going to start with a Fender Electric Instrument Company Fullerton, a composite solid body electric guitar Telecaster, supposed to go from $50,000 to $80,000. Now this one we all know is an absolute Jeff Beck classic. This is the guitar, there's a few guitars when we think of Jeff Beck on stage with Rufus's hair and his cut off, t-shirt sleeves with the guitar. Just that iconic thing. This is one of them. And it was slated, the estimate was 50,000 to 80,000 pounds. It went for 504,000. How are we not surprised? We are so not surprised about this. Because again, this is a classic. Everybody knows this is a Jeff Beck guitar. It's been played. It's been well loved. It's been a part of it. But then, Jeff Beck really did not think of his guitars as a lot of musicians do. He didn't think of them as like an extension of himself, of his heart and his soul. He just thought him the tool of the trade to bring his inner talent out, to bring his inner beauty of the music out, to express himself with. So they weren't an extension of him. But you know what? And they're extension of all of us. And I'm willing to bet, and I'm just going to say this right now, that a lot of these guitars were bought by his musician friends, especially because a lot of these prices really escalated, just tripled, quadrupled everything from what they really went for. Okay, now the second guitar we're looking at, pretty similar to the first one. This is another Fender Electric, but this is a solid body guitar known as the Telegib. Again, this is one of the most iconic looking guitars, one of the ones that we can see Jeff Beck playing. We all see this one. The pink one, this one, there's a couple others that we can see Jeff Beck, when we picture him, in his cutoff, like I said, his cutoff sleeves, everything, we can see this guitar. Now, this one was slated to go from 100,000 pound to 150,000 pound. It went for 693,000. Yeah, 693,000. I mean, and like I said, my guess is a lot of musicians, a lot of his contemporaries bought these guitars. A lot of high-end collectors, the Hard Rock Hotel, or not hotel, the Hard Rock Company, what is it, the Rock and Roll History Museum in Ohio and stuff. So a lot of these type of people bought these, and maybe some just high-end collectors who love music. All right, the next one is another Fender, because obviously Jeff Beck really loved him a Fender. Don't we all, ladies? We love a rock star with a Fender. So far, I'm going to say this is going to be probably one of the most expensive ones, because you look at this guitar, and it is 100%, this is Jeff Beck all the way, right? This is something that we all saw Jeff Beck. This is obviously a well-loved guitar. He used this. It's a solid body electric guitar, custom shop Stratocaster for Jeff Beck. And yeah, just but with all those additives onto it, with all the obvious Warren playing it, that he was very loved for a lot of times. It was estimated, and like I said, all these estimates when I did the first episode, I knew these were way low estimates. So it's like, 20 to 30,000 to me as an estimate was such a bad idea. Such a complete bad idea. So it was, went for £1,008,000. Yeah. I think that's the most expensive guitar that it's gone for, because number one, it's custom by a specific maker. Number two, it's obviously one that he just used all the time. This is one of his favorite tools of the trade. Obviously, absolutely loved it. Okay, all right, I was wrong, because this next one, this Gibson Incorporated Kalamazoo, Michigan from 1954, solid body electric guitar, Les Paul model known as the Oxblood. Okay, I didn't think, I thought that white one that was so well loved. And this one, it kind of goes to show you that the previous one that was estimated at 20 to 30,000 pounds, it was obviously one of his favorite guitars. It's well played, it's a custom. But this one, the Gibson Incorporated Kalamazoo, known as the Oxblood, again, probably one of his most iconic guitars. This one was estimated 350,000 to 500,000 pound. Why the difference? I don't know, because there's so much more customization and with the previous one, and different labels that make it worth a lot of money. So why that one was estimated at 20 to 30,000 pounds and it went for over $1,000,000. This one was estimated from 350,000 to 500,000 pounds and it went for £1,068,500. So why that was estimated as differently, I'm not sure. But wow, I mean, $1,000,000, like I said, this is definitely the Hard Rock Corporation, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Jimmy Page, someone like that. This is definitely one of his contemporaries or one of those type of entities buying this, some museum. Because, even the Metropolitan Museum of Art, just different museums around the world have their music collections. Okay, now we are here with another one. Like I said, I had mentioned the pink one earlier because that's one that I can see him playing, is this pink one. Solid body electric guitar soloist signed by Tina Turner. This Jackson Glendora, which we all know Jacksons are great guitars, but they're not necessarily the most valuable in the long run. We don't see a ton of Jacksons that go for a lot of money. This is one of those rarities because number one, it has Tina Turner. Sadly, she just recently passed away. With Jeff Beck, who had her, I'm pretty sure Jeff Beck had her sign this. Not 100% on that, but definitely, they worked together. There was definitely a lot of music. I mean, because Tina Turner, she's an icon to anybody, even to Jeff Beck, to Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. She was always, always just an icon. She was not just for music, but for women. She was absolutely fucking amazing. So this one, the pink one, the solid body electric Jackson, was estimated 8 to 12,000 pounds. Like I said, definitely not one of the Jacksons are never going to be high guitars that go, but this one actually sold for 441,000 pounds. Like I said, never ceases to amaze me. And here we have another one that was just like the very first one that went for the that we talked about, that went for the millions. This is another Fender Electric Instrument Company, a solid body guitar by Fender Stratocaster, estimated 50 to 80,000 pound, went for 441,000 again, as the previous one did. So why this estimate was a little more when the other one was custom, I don't know. I think, like I said, this one's well worn, well loved. Definitely used by Jeff. Definitely, he obviously liked a Fender without a doubt. But again, the previous one that went for a lot more was only 20 to 30,000 pound. And this one was estimated for more, but actually went for less than the other one for the 441,000 pounds. So why? I don't know. I wonder. Okay, now we're going to get out of the kind of guitars for a minute because, like I said, this auction held a lot of Jeff's touring equipment. And anybody who knows musicians, if you are a musician, if you're a wife of a musician, if your kids are a musician, if you're a groupie of a musician, we all know they love to hold on to their road equipment, to their guitars. Like I said, whether it's an extension of themselves or because it's memories. And this is one of them, a touring flight case. This is one of Jeff's, obviously, it was used by him. This was something that would have been checked into the airplane that would have come across on the belt, later. I mean, it's really cool to see this. It's from the late 60s, early 70s. You can see the labels marked on it wherever, how they used to put the stamps on it when it was going around the world. Now, this was only estimated at 800 to 1,200 pound. It actually went for 23,940 pound. But this, like, that definitely is going into the hard rock, into a private collection of somebody, because that says it all right there. Jeff Beck Group, London, Fragile. What was in there? Was it all the guitars? What was in there? What did he carry in there? There's so much of a story. If we could see it open, then we can see what was probably going in there. But I wonder how many tours that went on with him. That would be so freaking awesome. I love that piece. This is a piece I would like to have. Like, I would do something like stick legs on it and make it my coffee table or something like that in my office or something. So yeah, that's definitely a piece we can all love. And I'm so glad that one showed up. All right, and next thing, moving on. This would be a very, very cool thing that anybody could display. You could pop it into a shadow box frame and just have this, with the plaque and certified everything. Now, these are just the Gibson Incorporated pickups. So, unmatched and composite pair of pickups. They were estimated to go from 2,000 to 3,000. Can you imagine? They're obviously worn. They're obviously played. They've obviously been replaced on one of his older guitars. Absolutely amazing. Easy peasy to display in anybody's home. Like I said, estimated 2,000 to 3,000. They went for $10,710 or great British pounds. So again, this is something, the pickups anybody could have bought, and just amazing. Everything went for escalated prices, but it's no shocker to the rest of us here, is it? Okay, next one, moving on. And I love this. This is a Jim Marshall Productions Limited, Bletchley, England, and a Superhead amplifier, Tremolo JTM 45. Okay, these, like, we would see these sitting on top of John Entwistle, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, all the guys, Pete Townsend, all the guys from this era would just stack these Marshalls up, and we'd see this little one on the top, with all the knobs and stuff, and I love it. I mean, this is iconic for any rocker of their era, a Marshall stack. So this is an older one without a doubt, because look at the wear, the love, everything, just the knobs, everything about it's so cool. There's people that specifically collect these amps. I'm guessing, what's his name? Phil? What was his name? I slept with him when he was in, he was in Monster Magnet, Peace, Love, Mother. Oh, anyway, he collects these things. But anyway, so 46,000 pounds. This puppy went for 21,420 pounds. No shocker. I mean, seriously, just a beautiful piece of equipment that really tells a history that had a lot of amazing music come out of it. And I'm guessing it wasn't just Jeff's alone. Okay, another interesting road piece that I absolutely love. And this is Jeff's stage pedal board performance pedal board. And it was used on his last tour in 2022 before he passed. So just an amazing, another, pedal boards to me are just a part of the thought process and creative process of making the music come out. And, you can, a lot of musicians just effortlessly tap on each little pedal, just instinctively with every song. So another absolutely amazing road piece. definitely used, by him on his last tour, which is pretty poignant. This is the last board he stepped on. And this was estimated for 3,000 to 5,000 pounds. Again, way underestimated. Went for 126,000 pound. And why not? I mean, this is something that traveled with Jeff. This was his own arrangement, his own creative thought process to bring the music out through the tools that he used. So just an amazing piece, easy peasy. I bet you we're going to see it displayed somewhere. I hope we do, because a lot of this stuff would just be so much fun to see, to look at, to kind of bond with, grow with, see the mind of these musicians that we all love and adore, and some of us sleep with. Okay, and the next one. Now, this is one that, this is one that, a Dueselberg, Hanover, Germany from 2019, semi-solid body electric guitar, artist series with Johnny Depp's signature. This one, guessing it was a Hollywood Vampire show or something like that, but not one that a lot of people would play, not a huge, iconic type of instrument. Really well made guitar, but more of a novelty item. 46,000 pound went for 30,240 pound. So like I said, the power of the iconic person behind what we're auctioning off really is what takes over at some point. Because like I said, this guitar would have gone for 4 to 6,000 pound. Nothing serious. And I'm guessing had it not been attached to Jeff Beck, it might have gone for the 4,000 pound range. I don't think it would have gone over that, to be honest. But again, Jeff Beck with Johnny Depp's signature. There's a story behind it that I'm sure we will all know and love. But yeah, definitely didn't go for, went slightly over its estimate. And here's another one. This is a Gretsch, and we all love the Gretsch guitar. Semi-solid body electric guitar, Duo Jet 6128. Absolutely love this guitar. This is something that we see with every amazing guitar player like Slash, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Pete Townsend, just all the guitar players that we know that are amazing over the years. Unless it's like Dime, or someone, he wouldn't have a Gretsch in his touring repertoire anyway. But yeah, this is definitely classic rock and roll staple. And again, this one not estimated to go for a lot of money, because Gretsch guitars are very much, they're used for a certain type of sound. They're used for specific reasons. So unlike a Fender or Jackson or something like that, they have kind of not a limited range, but a specific sound that they like to stick with. So this one estimated 8 to 12,000 pound. It went for 115,920 pound. Again, 10 times more than that top estimate. Woo, people were having, and what people don't know is the auctioneer, the people who represent the clients over the phone, they all get a commission. The auctioneer will get a commission off the total of the auction. That's why there's all these extra costs involved when you're buying things from like Christie's or Sotheby's or Bonhams. So whoever the auctioneer was for this one was a happy person by the end of this auction, no doubt. Okay, now this one definitely fascinates me. Like, I would love this. This is a Univox, Westbury, New York, circa 1970, a 6x10 speaker cabinet. Absolutely, how fucking cool is this? I mean, this has, like, the look. It's got just that 60s, 70s vibe, that coming of age when the Gen X, birth of the Gen X. It's just really a cool piece. The color, the way the microphone or the speaker, the heads are round, stuff like that. Just absolutely love this piece. This alone, we don't see too many speaker cabinets like this around. So this alone, I think, would have fetched more than its estimate, just because it's so cool looking. Because the estimate was only $1,000 to $1,500. So, it sold for 14,490, which, like I said, I think without the Jeff Beck Provenance, it probably would have gone for 5 to 6 thousand because it is such a unique piece. But with the Jeff Beck Provenance, it definitely raised it up to 14,490. So, really great estimate, really awesome piece. You don't see many pieces like this. Love this one. Okay. Now, this is another the solid body guitar synthesizer. So I'm not sure if this is a guitar and the piece next to it, or if it's just the piece, the blue piece. So somebody down in the comments, let me know who's better. I mean, very well versed at the guitar players that I sleep with, not just all their equipment. So the equipment, but this is in 1980. So 1980, and again, any other guitar player, tell me down in the comments, like, were there any iconic guitars that even came out of the 1980? So yeah, but again, Fujigen for Roland, Nagano, Japan, 1980, a solid body guitar synthesizer. So estimated 46,000 pound. This one only went for 7,560 pound, which it probably went for a little bit under its top estimate because I think the price realized does include all the auction fees and everything like that. So, yeah, again, just because it was owned by Jeff Beck, it's like, well, this is not something we would see him as using. Did he only use it once? I'd like to hear the story behind it because what a lot of people are paying for with the stories is definitely, or with the guitars and stuff, and any type of high-end auction like Elizabeth Taylor's jewelry or artwork by Pissarro, whoever, we're definitely paying for the provenance behind it. Without that provenance, it's just shit. So any painting, even the Mona Lisa, if it didn't have provenance, would be $3, $4, $5,000 at best. So the only thing that sold this one definitely was Jeff Beck provenance. Okay, moving on to the next thing. So this is another Fender, and this is just a Fender neck. And it's a Stratocaster neck. That's all. One of Jeff Beck's. There has got to be a story about this. There's got to be a story about this neck somehow, some way. Because you don't see this often at any type of guitar. I mean, John Entwistle had 1,000. I mean, not 1,000, maybe not, but he had a shit ton of guitars and basses that were sold from his estate. And I don't think we ever saw anything like this, It just, seriously, here's a Fender neck. There's a story behind it. What it is, I'm not 100% sure. Go to the auction site, click on it, and I'll put the link to the auction down in the description. But yeah, so this is just a Fender Stratocaster neck. Huh. Supposed to go for $1,000 to $1,500. I'm going to tell you right now, I think somebody knew the story behind this because that puppy went for 30,240 pound. Yep, so someone behind it knows this story, and I'm guessing it was Jimmy Page. No, I'm kidding. I don't know who knows the story behind it, but if you know the story behind it, put it down in the comments as always. Because, yeah, why would just the neck alone go from 1,000, 1,500 estimate to 30,000, even with the Jeff Beck provenance? Because, as we saw with the previous, guitar synthesizer thing, whatever the hell that is, yeah, it didn't go for that much because, okay. This is not what we associate with Jeff Beck. This must have just been a promo piece that was given to him or something. But this neck, I want to know the story. I'm interested. I'm invested now. It's like the TikTok, those second date updates. We have to keep, oh no, I have to go find the second one, because I'm invested. All right. So moving on to the next one, which I absolutely love this. Like, I want a road case in my house so bad. I don't know what I would do with it because it just doesn't fit into the decor of my home. I'm more boho chic, but yeah, this is the part of a Marshall stack. Like I said, we know these stacks. They are just part of every rock concert we have seen, thanks to The Who. It's arguable whether the Marshall stack was Pete Townsend or John Entwistle, or maybe someone else. I'm always going to be Team Entwistle on that one, just because, I'm biased. So, yeah, put down in the comments who you think invented the Marshall stack. But then again, here we go. This is another part of Circa 1982, the angled speaker. This went on tour with Jeff. This had a lot of music. This had a lot of roadies knocking it over, pushing it around. Jeff setting his drinks on top of it, his water, whatever, with the road case, which is really cool. I just love a good road case. I don't know. It turns me on. It gets me excited. Maybe I should put it in my bedroom. I don't need more excitement in there. That's for damn sure. Anyway, so this was estimated to go 5 to 800 pound, sold for 9,450. And of course it did because it's Jeff Beck. This looks like something that would more likely go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that would go to the Hard Rock Hotel, or hotels. I keep saying hotel because that's where I used to hang in Vegas, but the Hard Rock Corporation, or, one of the museums that has this stuff. So this definitely love a good Marshall stack. But yeah, 9,450. So something not crazy expensive, but still has that Jeff Beck provenance. And moving on to the next one. Let's see. Fender Electric Instrument Company. Now, this is a solid body electric bass guitar, which I just, I can't think about, him playing bass. I mean, did he play bass? Again, those who know, put it down in the comments. But he definitely loved his guitars. He definitely saw them as his tools, just like a mechanic does, and he treats them lovingly and respectfully because they're everything to him. They may not be an extension of himself, but so why would Jeff have a bass? Does he play? Like I said, I've never seen him play bass, but a lot of musicians, like I said, John Entwistle had tons of different guitars. They just like to have them in case they do want to play them, in case, friends come over and jam, because that happened back then. But yeah, really pretty good, really nice bass guitar, very well made. I like a good Fender. I think Fender's a great company. That's just my opinion. But, this is your typical 1960s, 1970s bass style that we would see. Estimated 5 to 8,000 pounds, went for 30,240. So again, there must be some more provenance behind it that we just don't know. But absolutely cool piece to see Jeff Beck with the bass. And I would love to see him and John duel. I bet you they're up there dueling with the bass right now. Come on, boys, get it going. So what a fucking cool-ass rock band that's happening up in heaven. Just badass. Vincent Paul and Keith Moon are going at it with John Bonham on the drums. They're having a drum off. They are. Okay, next one, moving on. This one absolutely fascinates me. This one, I have never seen anything like this. I don't think Jeff ever played it because it just doesn't seem his style. It just doesn't seem, but how would this play? This is a Chapman, Los Angeles, circa 1980, 10-string guitar, the Chapman stick. I can't imagine seeing a guy up on the stage playing this stick and thinking, oh, God, I want him. You know what I mean? And I can't see Jeff Beck playing this unless it was a very specific situation. So, this is an odd thing, and I wonder how it does play. I wonder how it does sound. So this was estimated 2 to 3,000 pound. Didn't go over much. It was sold for 8,820 pound. So not too much more over the estimate. But again, that provenance in Jeff Beck's. This is owned by Jeff Beck. Although I doubt he played it, because just something tells me this is not an instrument Jeff could see pulling his talents out of him. I don't know. But it's just like I said, I could not see a guitar player. Could you imagine Slash playing that on stage? And really, how does it sound? If anybody knows, let us know, because I just can't imagine this sounding. Because, when you think of like a guitar and you think of the hollow body or the full or the solid body or the, semi, whatever, you think of the different sounds and the deep and the ooh, and just what it has with us. And this would be like twang. I don't know. But pretty interesting. I'm kind of fascinated with it, but I think other people felt the way I did because it only went for 8,000 pound. All right. Now this next one, I can see him like walking into the hotel with this, just hanging out with him, going to the gig with this, getting out of the, runner van, the white runner van with this, just, carrying it, or one of his assistants. Just a really cool little bag. And it's got his backstage passes on it looks like, from one of the tours. So around 19. It's a Manny's Music, circa 1994, red leather gig bag, personally used by Jeff, obviously. So pretty cool. I could, like I said, I could just see him getting out of that runner van, walking into the gig, or getting out of the hotel van from the airport, coming across the hotel lobby, checking in, him holding this in his hand. I mean, this is something Jeff used and had his, that was part of, part of how he kept his favorite instrument next to him. So very cool. I think this is a really awesome piece. We're probably going to see this displayed somewhere. Was supposed to go for £300 to £500, because obviously it's just the case. People don't think there's too much worth in it, but there's a lot of value in this. Somebody saw that because it went for £9,450. But just a really cool piece. Just a really awesome little personal piece that he kept his guitar choice near him at the time. Okay, and now we are moving on to another amplifier, Twin Reverb Fender Electric Instrument Company. I'm not sure what year this is, but we all know these. These are like, I love these when you're doing a smaller gig, when you're, in the studio, when you're at practice, whatever. And Fender makes a good amp, but it's just not the Marshall stack. But a really awesome, the Twin Reverb, that's definitely a sound on its own. Really just a cool amp. Estimated to go 8 to 1,200 pounds. Sold for 11,340. Because like I said, there are musicians and non-musicians that you just, like people who ASMR just have a certain sound. They just really love this, and they're Ched heads, I believe is they're called. They just love the history of the amplifier, because it does bring out their music. And this is another little, and I think this is going to be our last one, because we can go to the auction. There's so many cool things to see on this auctions. Now, this is a Klon Siberia, circa 2001s out of Boston, Massachusetts. A Centaur Professional Overdrive. And just a kind of a really simple, I'm trying to read, it says something on the side. But definitely, like, whatever is written on the side, again, this is just personal stuff that when you have that footboard, a lot of you musicians know, or groupies who have seen, everything on the side of the stage, with your foot pedals and stuff, and just the different things, you've got it written on the side. So definitely something that was 100% part of his repertoire on the road. Definitely something that he could use to, for the different sounds. And like I said, that writing on the side of it, something, the deluxe music, big deluxe music. So I don't know what that means, or if it added to, if that was their own writing, or if it was just something that was put on by the factory. But just a really cool another little piece for his pedal board that he probably wasn't using anymore. So estimated 2 to 3,000 pounds. Again, 13,860 pounds. So we can see, you guys, like I said, this auction, as we all knew, as we all had talked about before, was definitely going to explode out of way more than what, the value said of the estimated value of all these items, because Jeff had a lot of stuff. And like I said, there's a shit ton of items. I just kind of went through the first one. So I'll put the link down at the bottom so everybody can kind of go look at the auction themselves. Just an amazing, really cool insight to not only Jeff's history with what he had to make his talent come alive, but really a kind of a testament to his value to this world, what he left behind, not only to his contemporaries, but to the museums, to the fans, to everybody. And I love that it did. I love that it just exploded, that it helped his family pay the death taxes, because Lord knows those aren't cheap. But yeah, I mean, this is just a really amazing testament to how the world felt about Jeff Beck, the influence he left behind, the impact he made, not only in music, but with his friends and contemporaries in the rock world. And definitely one impression left on a bitchy groupie that I did an episode on here. So there's that too. But anyway, God, You can tell I'm not feeling well today because I'm extra bitchy. But thank you, everybody, for getting through today's. I know the auctions are never anybody's favorite, but I would get excited by it because it's like today's Super Bowl Sunday, and it's like watching the Super Bowl. Just there's all those moments you're sitting there, and here's this object that is like Ernie. What is his name? Ernie Barnes. If we've all watched the Good Times, we know that painting at the beginning with all the sugar shack, everybody dancing around, all these awesome looking characters on that picture at the beginning of Good Times. That's an actual painting by a man called Ernie Barnes. He was a professional football player, is mostly associated with a lot of his football paintings. That one was supposed to go for $350,000. It went for over $12 million. So that not only set a precedence, but could you imagine just sitting in that auction house? I watched it because this is all on YouTube, and just watched it and sitting there with Jeff Beck as every one of those guitars or every one of the tiniest little memorabilia just exceeds. And it's so exciting because you're like, yeah, and that may not seem exciting to people, but when you're sitting there and something for $350,000 just ends up going for $12 million, you're just sitting on the edge of your seat because you just set a precedence. You just set a standard for these guitars, for these products, for this person's inherent value. So it's definitely something that I find very exciting, like a lot of people do the Super Bowl today. So, all right, you guys, and as usual, like I say, thank you so much for getting to the end of today's episode. Thank you for always just being a badass family here. I'm so looking forward to doing so much more with so many cool people, meeting new people, and truly, you guys just rock as a family. And we will see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Oh, whoa, back up, though. Don't forget, for those of you just lurking around, just hanging out, figuring it out, go down and hit that subscribe, hit the share button. Let's grow because, there's not too many people on YouTube that are their own genuine thing, that are so different from everybody else. We have so many people, 95% of the creators here are carbon copies of each other. So let's stick around for that 5% who are actually just different. I'm certainly different. At least on my knees. No, I'm kidding. All right, you guys. Hit that share, hit the subscribe, become a member, hit my bells. And we will see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.